Hello again. This is John from the Educational Consulting, your host here. This is Insights into College Admissions. This is the part where I invite college admissions officers to sit down with me on sort of an informal type of way to learn more about what they're doing on campus and how they're helping students. Today I have with me Mike Faki. Mike Faki is the Senior Director of Enrollment and Admissions at Parsons Paris, the New School. Welcome, Mike.
Hi, Jean-Louis.
How you doing? It's been a while.
Yes, it has. Great to be with you here today.
Great. So, as I explained to you, Mike, I'm trying to understand from your point of view how things are going on campus. I know we know with COVID and everything, so you guys had to do some major procedural things to allow students to return. But before we get into that, tell me a little bit about your background and how you got into Parsons and how long perhaps you've been working there.
Thank you for this opportunity. I have been at Parsons for more than 6 years now at Parsons Paris. And before that, I was also working in higher education at a French institution based in Paris. I was in both the academic and the administrative admissions part of things. And since joining Parsons Paris, the new school, I have been working solely on admission and enrollment, and that has been going great.
Great. So you are a very experienced person
Thank you.
because I know with the past couple of years, we've seen higher education has changed drastically, hasn't it?
It has. It has definitely. I think what's interesting about the changes, though, a lot of the changes are going, maybe some of the changes are not very positive, but some of the changes are very positive for our students and prospective students, your students, in the sense that, especially with COVID, we have seen, of course, there were some catastrophic consequences of COVID on health, material, and human levels. One of the consequences, though, has been that we see students today have access, much more access to people like you or like me than ever before, because a lot of what we do has gone digital. It would have been inconceivable a few years back to tell students they'd be sitting in their living rooms after school or on weekends or when they're jogging and listen to our conversation. And today, this is a reality.
That's true. That's true. And that's what makes the future of higher education brighter because we are thinking in a more objective way on how to make things happen we never thought would ever happen in this um, spectrum in a way.
Right. Right.
So, Mike, tell me about three characteristics that make, Parsons campus in Paris the best spot for a student to study.
First, a word about Parsons. Parsons, of course, traditionally ranked America's top art and design school. And Parsons established a presence in Paris, Parsons Paris, for more than 100 years. So what would make it an institution that stands out would be we offer three undergraduate programs in fashion design, business, and art media technology. All of our majors are cross-disciplinary and are taught by fantastic faculty from both Europe, the US, and across the world. And as part of the new school in New York, we really have a community here, including students, of course, faculty, and staff, who feel that they're having an impact on the world they live in, with special attention to equity, inclusion, and social justice.
Oh, very great. So that tells me that a student who's interested to come to Parsons must have some interest in arts and wanting to take that to the next level so that they find the best school that can allow that aligns to their interest and to what their skill sets are.
Of course, I all of our programs are art-based.
Okay.
specifically, especially fashion design and art media technology. And
Mhm.
even our business program, strategic design and management, has a strong art. They students need to be passionate about art and design to really feel like this is a good place for them, to be a good fit for them.
Just to understand, for instance, for the business, somebody will study business, but understand what the art or merchandising
Yeah,
part
so
of
that
it
would be part of
is.
it, exactly. And the design
Okay.
solutions to today's problems, sustainability, but
Okay.
also fashion inflection to business based in where we are in Paris, of course. This is where it not all happens, but this is where this is the fashion capital of the world. And it's very interesting to have a major like this in a city like Paris with a Parsons curriculum, of course.
That's great. That's great. And that's also an umbrella of the Boston School in New York.
Yes, of course. So we are part of Parsons and the New School. The New
Mhm.
School has six colleges, of which Parsons is the largest, and we are part of Parsons and the New School. And we're the only
Okay,
branch campus outside Manhattan in New York.
that's great. So you sort of alluded to this, but I guess tell me in maybe in a couple words, why should a student attend Boston, your campus in Paris, since especially if they already have a campus in New York? So
Oh, it's a good
what makes,
question.
yeah, why should a student, go to Paris to study with you and not New
Mhm.
York?
So what we have, those are very complementary campuses. More than 100 years ago, the very first executive dean found one of the executive deans actually of Parsons School of Design created the Paris campus because he felt Alva Parsons at the time that this would be so significant for New York. This is a center of fashion. This is a center of arts. It's avant-garde, and it has a very strong European know-how. And we tend to have programs. For instance, our fashion program is more of a collections-based fashion, and this is one of the tracks in New York. Our business program has a fashion inflection that reflects a lot of what this city, Paris, does. And then we have a program in art, media, and technology that's quite progressive also, for which we don't have the same program in New York. We have a whole school of art, media, and technology in Parsons, but not a specific major. We have this major here. Um, we have a student body at Parsons in Paris, Parsons Paris, that is about 35% European. So this is very important. It's really creating a European identity to a lot of what we do in terms of our curriculum. And maybe linked to this, a student who is in New York or a student who is in Paris has the possibility of spending one semester or 1 year abroad on the other campus as part of their mobility year or third year abroad. So this is a possibility too.
Okay, I was about to ask you about that, whether there was a mobility um, attached to the programs and some students from both campuses. And when a student, for instance, go from your campus to the US or vice versa, tuition remains same. Is that right?
No, actually, yes. So tuition is the same at the home campus. So if they're
Okay.
in Paris, they will pay Paris tuition. If they're in New York, they will pay New York tuition.
Mhm.
Absolutely.
But they can
Doing
come to
that.
your campus. Expenses might differ based on the city they're in, right?
Exactly, exactly. Knowing that tuition fees at Parsons Paris are about 30% less than in New York. So if this is a New York student, they will still pay tuition fees there. If they're a Paris student, they will still pay tuition in Paris.
Okay. Okay. And my last question, Mike, what is the most important factor for a student who's interested to study at Parsons in Parsons Paris to succeed?
That's a good question, Jean-Louis. Thank you for asking it. I think curiosity, critical thinking, open-mindedness. And these are three important factors I see in the students we recruit and we have at Parsons Paris. Students who are critical thinkers, they're curious, they're quite mature, they're open-minded, they they in many ways they self-selected themselves to be at a top-ranked art and design school um, in a city like Paris, in a country like France, studying in a rigorous curriculum. And they really feel, as I had mentioned when we first started, that they are participating in making an impact on the world they live in.
Wow, you've educated me quite a bit about Parsons. Mike, thank you very much. I know you are quite busy right now because I know before we came on, you were talking about releasing
Yes.
letters to the students. So I know you how difficult this is and how busy you are at the moment. So this is the questions that I have for you for now, but most certainly I would like to check with you back in a couple months to see how things are going on campus. And yeah, we have another conversation. Would that be okay?
Of course, my pleasure. My pleasure, Jean-Louis.
Okay, great.
Thank you.
So for those of you now, my audience who's watching this and who likes this video, please follow me on the channel, louis@consulting.com. And if after watching this video and any other ones that I have submitted before on the channel, if you feel like you're still daunted and you need more answers, please reach out to me, louis@consulting.com. There you can leave me an email, shoot me an email quick, or you can just schedule for an appointment and I'll get back to you. Okay, I look forward to seeing you soon.